In celebration of Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, the Big Ten Network honors legendary figures in the conference's rich history. As the first four-time All-American female golfer in Bruins history, Tiffany Joh left her mark on the UCLA golf team. The Korean American impressed as a freshman in 2006, shooting 6 rounds under par to lead the team to the conference title and earn herself the Pac-10 Newcomer of the Year honor. She continued to excel on the course as a sophomore, winning the 2007 conference championship with a birdie in a sudden death playoff. While at UCLA, Joh competed as an amateur, winning 2 U.S. Women's Amateur Public Links titles, and was a member of the winning U.S. team in the 2008 Curtis Cup. Off the course, she excelled in the classroom, earning 3 all-academic selections. Joh played on the LPGA Tour for 11 years before retiring in 2021.
Pretty good run for Joe's alma mater, UCLA men's golf, following up its Big Ten tournament title in Baltimore a couple weeks ago with a third-place finish at the NCAA Auburn Regional, the punch a ticket to the 30-team NCAA Championships, which start a week from today in Carlsbad, California. Big Ten medalist Omar Morales continued his hot play, shooting an 8 under 208 over the 3 days to tie for second in the regional.
Big Ten Coach of the Year, Armen Kirakossian of UCLA Golf. And Coach, the last time, just a couple of weeks ago, really, we got a chance to really look at you up close in person on the Big Ten Network here. You were down 8 strokes leading into the final round of the Big Ten Championship tournament. Your team came back with a big win, winning the Big Ten Conference in your first season. I'm wondering, in what ways did that catapult you to the success we saw you just have in the Auburn Regional?
Well, I mean, anytime you can win in golf, it's huge, and obviously builds a lot of confidence in the guys. Coming from behind is never an easy feat, probably in any sport, but especially when you're 8 strokes behind in golf. And we weren't even playing in that final group, so we just had to go out and set a score and hope that it was good enough, and fortunately it was. So I think that just bodes a lot of belief in the guys. Their trust in each other went up, their trust in the process went up and everything that we're doing, and we show up to regionals. And yeah, I mean, that helps in a big way, knowing that you've just overcome an 8-stroke deficit to win the Big Ten championship. Going into regionals is hyper stressful and intense, and the guys did awesome and pulled through, and it wasn't easy, and and it definitely came down to the wire there at the end, but the guys persevered, and we came out on top, and we're advancing to La Costa, and I couldn't be more excited.
And Coach, not you, none of your assistants, none of your golfers had ever played that course at Auburn before. So in preparation for something like that, in your biggest match, your biggest weekend of the year, how did you go about preparing for the unknowns you were going to face?
That was definitely unique, not having anybody that has ever seen the golf course. I've never seen the golf course. So we were calling around trying to get information. The fortunate part is that we had traveled east a number of times this year. We had played in Florida a few times. We've played on some similar grass. We had played at Georgia Tech's event in Atlanta, which isn't too far away from Auburn. So at least we kind of had that in our back pocket, knowing that, hey, we have traveled east. We've played well. We've done well in this type of environment, on this grass, in this time zone. So that was super helpful when you get sent to a regional across the country. But yeah, there's a lot of unknowns. So we've been talking all season long about, hey, preparation. We need to prepare the best we possibly can. And if we do that, we are confident that we are going to go and give it our best. And so that's what we did. We prepared well, and we went there. It was a very difficult golf course, long golf course. It had rained a bunch kind of before the practice round, the night after the practice round, so the golf course was even longer because it was playing wet. But our guys did a great job. They trusted the process, and they trusted, like I said, in each other. And we came out in 3rd place, which was good enough to advance us to the national championship.
And you and your team, you had the experience last season in the Stanford Regional, and results were a bit more disappointing than what you were able to pull off this time around. But I'm always fascinated the approach that a coach takes in a scenario like that. Did you talk about last season? Did you kind of harken back to that with some of your more experienced golfers, or did you just kind of pretend it didn't exist?
I frankly, I think last season it made the guys really hungry. It had been, last season was the first time any of the players on the team had ever even played in a regional. So that was my second year here as a coach at UCLA last year, and they didn't even know what to expect going into regional. And as much as you can talk about it and try to prepare them for it, you really can't experience that level of intensity and stress that a regional brings until you're in it. And so the guys felt that, and when we didn't advance last year, it was quite emotional, especially for me and the team, and they really felt that. And they're like, man, now we get it. We get how big of a deal this is. And then I think on top of that, we went out to La Costa and watched our women play in the final championship match. And that, I think, even stoked the fire more in the guys. They were, this is so awesome. We want to be here. This is where we want to be. And so coming into this year and this season, once we qualified for the regional tournament, there wasn't much to say from a coaching aspect. I think they all knew what they wanted. They were very hungry. They knew where they wanted to be, and that was at La Costa. And so in a way, we almost had to try to kind of downplay the whole situation and just try to be relaxed, have as much fun as possible, and that hopefully then allows the guys to let their ability kind of flourish.
And truly, every major individual award has been won by you and your golfers up to this point as it relates to the Big Ten. But let's start with Pablo Arreño and just the season he's put together so far. What stood out about what he's done as a senior?
I mean, I am so happy for Pablo. When I came in, he had just completed his freshman year, and I knew he was a good player. But what I didn't know is how good of a person he was. And he is just all around like the ideal student athlete. He is an amazing golfer. He's an amazing teammate. He's an amazing person. He's a great student. He is like the quintessential person that you would love to have on any golf team. And so for him to be doing what he's doing right now is, I just couldn't be happier for him to be recognized as the player of the year in the Big Ten, and for the season he's been having. I mean, this is really going to catapult him and launch him into his professional career, and he deserves it. He's worked extremely hard. He does it the right way. Like I said, he is just the poster child of a student athlete that any coach would be just absolutely ecstatic to have on your golf team.
And then, certainly not to be left out, Baylor Larrabee, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year this season, 6 rounds in the 60s throughout the season. How fun has it been just to watch such a quick ascension for a young golfer?
It's hard being a freshman in college, especially in golf, in a sport where you just continue to get better as you get older. And so for Baylor to come and make the impact he has on our team, it's been frankly huge for our team and our program, but huge for him too. He is exceptionally a hungry golfer. He really wants to be awesome. He's working very hard every single day, almost to the point where sometimes I'm like, man, you might want to take some time off, maybe take a little bit of a breather from the game. He's just out there giving it all the time, has brought great energy to the team, and I mean, huge things to come for him in the future, but very happy that he was recognized as the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and just can't wait to see what Baylor has in store in the next 3 years.
And Coach, as I was looking into your background, I found it pretty remarkable that you didn't even start participating in competitive golf until you were in high school, much older than most folks end up doing when they're trying to go on this journey. And yet you had so much success as a golfer yourself and now coaching. And I'm just curious, in what ways perhaps does the fact that you got into this competitively a bit later in life, does that in some way uniquely shape the way that you coach now?
I mean, I think all of our past experiences shape how we coach. I'm very grateful for the path and journey I've taken. I think it's helped me immensely in the way that I coach. And yes, I started competitive golf later than probably most, especially at the level of golfers, in this conference and at UCLA. They start at such an early age. Maybe it just gives me a little bit different perspective, but I fell in love with coaching as soon as I got into it, and I fell in love with team golf. I think is what has most attracted me about this whole sport and deal is that you don't find team golf very often outside of college athletics, and unless you're making a Ryder Cup or President's Cup team. And yeah, maybe that's unique, and maybe that has something to do with me starting later. I don't know, but I love it. It's been just an absolute passion of mine ever since I started, and yeah, it's amazing.
Lots of milestones in Westwood, no doubt about that. Best of luck in Carlsbad, Coach.
Thank you so much.
The NBA Draft Combine winding down in Chicago. We'll hear from Illinois' Will Riley on his year with the Illini and the road ahead. This is Big Ten Today.